哎，你们打一会啊，自己上课啊，在里面玩啊，玩什么歌啊？他说我在哪？你们记得上课啊，电话拿着，一上课，老师一进进来自己删了哈。
डॉक्टर को बोल रही है मैं उनको म्यूट करूँ।
हाँ भी म्यूट कर दो।
मैं हो गया उनको कि ये म्यूट शायद हो।
सुनेगा नहीं। आप म्यूट नहीं है।
Mhm. Is that Dr. Go? I think we should start, right?
Yes,
Since
yes.
it is already YouTube live, so I think they will see later on.
Okay.
Professor Reshma, it is over to you. Please start the session.
So
Thank you,
I will
sir.
share. Okay.
I'm audible?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend a warm welcome to all our distinguished participants, guests, and speakers joining us from across the globe to this Day 3 keynote session of Second International Conference ICITEL 2.0. We are delighted to begin this session, which promises to be both insightful and engaging. This session focuses on rethinking pedagogy with emerging technologies and Education 4.0, featuring distinguished keynote speakers who are leaders in their respective domains. We are honored to have their presence and look forward to the knowledge they will share. To guide us through this session, we are privileged to have Dr. Salim Sheikh, Associate Professor and Head of Computer Science Engineering, AI/ML Department at Anjuman Islam Kalsekar Technical Campus. Dr. Sheikh holds a PhD in Computer Science and Engineering from Amity University, Jaipur. With over 19 years of experience in computer engineering and has published widely in Scopus Index journals. He worked in disease prediction, AI, deep learning, nature-inspired computing, and healthcare recommender systems. He holds a design patent on denoising medical images and has authored 2 international books. His academic leadership and commitment to innovation makes him an ideal chair for this session. Welcome, Dr. Salim Sheikh. It's
Thank
a
you, ma'am.
pleasure to have It's a pleasure to have you with us today. I now invite you to take the lead in introducing and welcoming our keynote speaker for this session. Over to you, Dr. Sheikh.
Thank you, Reshma madam. Good morning to everyone. It's my privilege to welcome you all to this session. As we move forward in higher education, advancing pedagogy through the innovation, particularly through the integration of AI tools, is reshaping how we teach and how students learn. Today, tools like ChatGPT for intelligent tutoring, Grammarly for academic writing supports, and Quillbot for content rephrasing are becoming the integral to modern pedagogy. These tools are not just enhancing efficiency, but also enabling us the personalized learning like never before. Now it's my privilege to welcome our first keynote speaker, Dr. Sharon Go Wei, Associate Professor and Head of Department at the School of Computer Science, Taylor's University, Malaysia. Dr. Go also served as a Deputy Director of the Impact Lab under Digital Health and Medical Advancement. She received her PhD in e-learning from the University of Derby in the United Kingdom and has over 20 years of academic experience. Her research and practice span learning assessment design strategies, online learning technologies, social media technologies, machine learning, and the Internet of Things. With her deep expertise and commitment to creating technology-rich classroom, she continues to make significant difference in higher education. Today, she will deliver a keynote on rethinking pedagogy with emerging technologies. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Sharon Go Wei. Madam, it's over to you. Dr. Go.
Okay. Sorry, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. A very good morning to all of you here. And I would like to take the opportunity to thank you and giving me the opportunity to give the keynote speech titled The Rethinking Pedagogy with Emerging Technologies. I'm Dr. Goh Wei Wei, Associate Professor in School of Computer Science, Taylor's University, under the Faculty of Innovation and Technology. So first of all, I would like to share that there is a lot of challenges in the higher education now between the traditional teaching and also today's learners. First of all, there is a few issues that the lecturers are facing when they are conducting the classes. First is the declining engagement. Students often feel disconnected from their lecture-based instructions, and then they are very passive in their learning. Second is there is the limited motivation, especially modules such as programming and cultural heritage, that it is struggling to inspire the student and to maintain their interest. Third is the surface learning understanding. Without the interactive methods, learners may only grasp the concept in a shallow level only. Furthermore, there is the outdated delivery models because our new generation, they prefer more for sophisticated use of the emerging technologies rather than just working on the pen and paper or just working on the assignments that is in the traditional way. So today's topic is regarding how can we utilize the emerging technologies to reimage the learning for our digital generations. As all of us know, the new generations, they like to be interactive, they are visual, and also they are hands-on. So emerging technologies actually offer a new pathway to our students to engage, personalize, and also to offer the deep understanding to our students. That is the reason why I would like to share two different emerging technologies, the case study that I have used with my students. The first one is using the metaverse, that we create the immersive avatar-led learning space for the students so that it can enable exploration, collaboration, and creativity in the virtual environments. Second case study is regarding the gamifications, where we transform the learning into goal-driven, rewarding experiences. So there is the use of challenges, feedback, and storytelling to boost the motivation and retention of our students. So let me share with the participants here on the first case study, which is the exploring the immersive learning in the metaverse for Python programming education. So as all of you know, what is metaverse? Metaverse comes from the concept from the Snow Crash that he is the American fiction novel in 1992 by Neal Stephenson, which despite the world where virtual and reality interact and create value through various social activities. So we are taking these opportunities to have the metaverse education in order to provide the learners with opportunities that change imagination into reality by means of diverse use of the emerging technologies and allow them to present in the different interactive environment. So as you can see, there is three example over here. The first one is there is the metaverse application for aircraft maintenance simulation education. And then there is also the metaverse application for language learning experience. And there is the metaverse university. So we can see that metaverse has been used widely for teaching and learning purpose. However, despite the growing demand for the innovative teaching methods in computer science education, traditional approaches to programming instruction often struggle to sustain student engagement and motivation. So our keywords here, our focus here is how are we going to engage the student and motivate the student, especially in learning programming. That is why we are exploring the emerging technology, such as the metaverse, that offer opportunities to create the interactive, game-like learning environments. However, there is still limited empirical evidence on how metaverse platform can be effectively integrated into the programming education and whether such education generally enhance the learning motivation, focus, and enjoyment. So this is the research question and research objective that we are looking at in our study. First is, how can an interactive metaverse-based learning platform be designed and implemented to support university students in learning Python? So the research objective is to design and implement an interactive metaverse-based learning platform for teaching Python programming. Second is, what are the patterns of student engagement and performance in the metaverse-based learning environments? So our research objective is to evaluate student engagement and learning performance through behavioral indicators such as duration, quiz score, and in an immersive and educational environment. And thirdly is how to inform the optimization of the metaverse-based platform for the design and instructional methods. So for this research objective, we try to collect the feedback and performance data to improve the digital teaching strategies. So this is the theoretical framework that we are using. We use the technology acceptance model, which is from Davids since 1989. And under the technology acceptance model, there is perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use. So we would like to explore the perception of the student in terms of the usefulness of using the metaverse platform that we have created for the learning Python, and in terms of ease of use, which means how easy to use the platform that we have created to learn Python programming. Then we also explore the attitude of the student towards the use and the behavioral intention of the students. For this, we focus on the learning duration and learning performance. So data was collected through a mixed mode method. 160 undergraduate students who do not have the computer science background participated in the study, where the students were guided through 3 levels of the virtual course in the metaverse, where they learn how to use Python Turtle library for creative graphic programming. After completing all levels, they responded to an online survey composed of both critical skill and open-ended questions about their learning experience, engagement, and preference. So this is the view of what we have done during our data collection. And then the student, 160 students, they are divided into 6 groups, and then we group them in the classroom. They started to use the metaverse for learning Python. After learning the Python in the metaverse, they have a few tasks to do, such as the checkpoint test, programming task completion, and also the online questionnaire. Okay, let me share with you the metaverse that we have created for learning Python. Is the So this is the platform that we have created in the metaverse, that the students, they can go into different environments. As a start, they will start from here on the left-hand side, and then they will click into the slides or the video. Then they can learn each topic by topic. So they can also watch some video. Okay, let me use the pointer. Okay, I will continue. So this one is after they have watched the video, then they can come here to do some questions. So this is the task 1 that they will have to unlock after they have watched all the tutorial sessions. Then this is the question that they are asking them to use the Python coding for. After they have done the task, they will go to the next step. class on second topic. Again, it is the same thing. They will read and watch everything online, and then there is the video instruction to guide them. Then after that, before they proceed to the next chapter, there is the question or Q&A session for the student to test their understanding. So this is the example, like the lecture that ask them or teach them how to draw something. So over here, when they click into this place, this one is to ask them to draw a love using the Python. So there is various experience that the student can explore. So there is many students at the same time, they go into this platform
Dr. Go,
environment and then they
sorry
can
to interrupt.
explore their studies. So they
Dr.
can
Go.
see their friends moving around, like visiting the exhibition hall.
Dr. Go, sorry to interrupt. Since there is background music is also there, no? So your audio it is overlapped.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
sorry
so we are
about
not
that.
getting what you said from last 1.5 minutes. So
Okay, it's
maybe
okay. I will play
for
the video
audio
first.
you can just you can reduce the audio and then you can repeat that.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's okay. I will, because I might not very good in using this. I
Yeah.
think I will play the video first and then.
Yeah, better.
Okay, so this is the video that I shared just now. I'm trying to go back to this PowerPoint. Okay, so as you can see just now, we have various type of environment. So over here, this is the environment in the metaverse on this, that the students, when they are doing using the platform, the metaverse platform to learn the Python, they actually log in and then they can see their friend walking around. So it is like the exhibition hall for the student, that they can go to each different screen for each different topic or chapters, that they can watch it online based on their pace of study. Then after they have watched the video and also the description of the topic, they will go to the next step. That is the task for them to do. And that there is also MCQ question to do to test the understanding of the students. So this type of environment, that the student will feel that they are immersed themselves into the metaverse platform, instead of having the lecturers to teach the Python programming in front of the classroom, where the lecturer is just writing or explain on the whiteboard, and then the student will just sit there in the classroom to listen. So this is a different type of environment where the student, they have the chance to go into this metaverse platform. They will feel that they are inside this metaverse platform to learn something. And if they have any question, or they think that what they are learning is too fast for them to understand, they can pause it and then they can go according to their pace. So this is the example of the metaverse platform that we have created to teach the Python programming for our students. As for the data collection, we have used the formative assessment, that we will test the student, see whether there is any improvement in terms of the efficiency of the students. And when the student go through each level, there is the checkpoint test, course task, and also the post survey for the student to answer. From there, we can try to collect the data to understand what is the perceived usefulness and also the perceived ease of use of the student for that metaverse platform that we have created. So for our respondent, we have 73 male students, 82 female students, and then the students, they are basically from first year and second year, and the frequency of using the metaverse-based education platform, for them, most of the students, they have written there that it is the first time for them to use, especially there is 81.9% of the students first time use the metaverse-based education platform. So the statistical analysis revealed that both perceived usefulness and the perceived ease of use were significantly correlated with the attitude towards the behavioral intention. So the summary is, students who perceive the platform as more useful and easy to operate express higher willingness to continue using the metaverse environment for learning Python programming. And there is the non-linear correlationship between learning duration and also the quiz score, implying that students have excessive long learning duration did not always achieve the highest grades. So most of the students usually take 20 minutes to learn the metaverse-based platform, suggesting that over 20 minutes learning in the metaverse education could lead to the cognitive load. So we also found that most of the students think that metaverse enhanced instruction significantly, improve their learning quality in Python programming learning. And compared to the conventional e-learning experience, students think that the most interactive and impressive in metaverse education mainly manifests the interesting way to interact among virtual avatars, where in that platform, students, they are allowed or they can interact with their friend in the metaverse environment. However, there is some limitation for this platform. First of all, is the system stability, and also the virtual scene interactivity are highlighted. that most important part that will impact on the user experience in metaverse education. Further research could develop or improve on these two aspects. So for this study one, we are trying to bridge the gap between the metaverse technology and programming educations. We are trying to provide the insight for educators and instructional designers to improve the immersive learning environment by emphasizing perceived usefulness and sustained engagement. We also highlight the key motivational factors that can guide the development of interactive, engaging, and effective metaverse education strategies. For this research, for this case study, it has added value to the teaching and learning, where it provides a replicable model for immersive programming instructions. It demonstrates the effectiveness of metaverse-based tools in enhancing student motivation. It also adds the empirical evidence to support broader use of virtual platform in higher education, and it bridges the creativity and computation, making programming more approachable to beginners. So this is for the case study one, where we use the metaverse platform to teach Python, and the evaluation rely heavily on the self-reported survey data, which is valuable for capturing student perception, but may be subject to bias such as social desirability or overestimation of engagement. The study design did not include the longitudinal follow-up or comparison with a large-scale control group in the traditional learning setting, limiting the ability to make strong causal inferences. The analysis focused mainly on subjective and outcome-based measures with limited use of the objective process data, which could provide more precise understanding of the learning process and in the immersive environments. So while the study demonstrates the potential of the metaverse-based platform in enhancing programming education, future research should place greater emphasis on the objective learning analytics beyond self-reported survey and performance tests, specifically the integration of the multimodal data source such as the facial expression analysis, action unique features, gaze direction, and engagement-related micro-expression can provide deeper insight into student learning state, cognitive load, and behavioral patterns during immersive learning. So for the future work, would also extend the current device base by moving from perception-driven evaluations toward the data-driven prediction and intervention, ultimately supporting the development of intelligent, personalized, scalable, metaverse-enhanced learning system for computer science education. For the second study, we explore the immersive learning in the metaverse for the Python programming educations. Okay, so actually the topic is wrong. For the second study, we try to use the gamifications for the intangible cultural heritage. So as we know, there is something we call it the intangible cultural heritage, represent the living traditions, skills, and cultural knowledge that is passed down through generations. So for this study, we use the gamification as the new pathway for the intangible cultural heritage education, turning passive learning into engaging, interactive, and experiences that resonate with today's digital native learnings. So for this project, we investigate how gamified learning can enhance student motivation, engagement, social interaction, and learning outcome. So for the background of study, that is the engagement challenges in higher educations. Many heritage education programs in universities struggle to engage students. Traditional lectures often feel disconnected from learners' experiences, resulting in low motivations and limited appreciation in intangible heritage content. Secondly, there is lack of gamification guidance. Although gamification is increasingly used in the education, limited research exists on how to apply it effectively in heritage learning. Educators lack of clear framework for selected game elements that genuinely enhance student learning. Third is the poorly designed gamifications. Without careful design, gamification risks the oversimplifying cultural content. It may distract rather than educate. A meaningful framework is needed to preserve the cultural depth in the interactive learning and experiences. So for this project, we aim to develop a practice-based gamification prototype that enhances heritage learning in higher educations. Through interactive testing in real classroom setting, the prototype connects educational theory with practical design strategies to increase student motivation, encourage peer interaction, and improve learning outcomes in the cultural educations. So for this project, it is related to two SDG. One is the SDG 4, quality education, and another one is SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. And for this is the research question and research objective for this project, where research question 1 is what is the experience of higher education students regarding the motivation and engagement on the gamified learning platform for Chinese intangible cultural heritage. And the research objective is to explore how gamification influence higher education student motivation and engagement in Chinese intangible cultural heritage education based on their experiences with gamified learning platform. Research question 2 is what critical game elements influence the social interaction among higher education students on the gamified learning platform for Chinese cultural heritage. Research objective 2 is to investigate how critical game elements influence social interaction among higher education students on gamified learning platform. Research question 3 is how do critical game elements influence the learning outcome of education students in Chinese intangible cultural heritage education on a gamified platform? So for the research objective 3 is to examine how critical game elements on gamified learning platforms impact the learning outcome of higher education students in the Chinese intangible cultural heritage educations. So this is the theoretical framework that we are using for this study. We use the self-determination theory, and under the self-determination theory, we focus on the social comparison theory, self-efficacy theory, goal-setting theory, and theory of gamified learners. So over here, we try to focus on the motivation and engagement of the students, and also the social interaction and social connection among the students, whether there is any achievement in the learning. So this is the expanded version of the theoretical framework. For the motivation and engagement, we focus on the intrinsic motivation and also the extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is focusing on the psychology needs of the students, such as competence, autonomy, and relatedness, emotional engagement, behavioral engagement, and extrinsic motivation is focusing on the rewards. For the second research questions is the social and interaction collaboration, where we focus on the friendly competitions and also the collaborations. For these two, we were trying to look at what is the learning achievement for the students. We use the semi-structured interview to explore the satisfaction and achievement of the students by allowing the student to do the connective engagement, test assessment, score improvement. So this is the prototype that has been created using the Unity, where we have the U Opera Costume Heritage Hub. This is the design of the U Opera Costume Heritage Hub, where there is various modules inside this U Opera Costume Heritage Hub. I will share the video and then we can watch it. Then we will explore it further. Is the YouTube video visible?
The UA Opera Costume Heritage.
Can you see the YouTube
Yes,
video
yes,
now?
yes, it is visible.
It's the YouTube video, right? It is the are you seeing the YouTube video now?
Yes,
Yes,
madam,
madam.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hello and welcome. I'm thrilled to introduce you to the UA Opera Costume Heritage Hub, a digital learning platform we developed using gamified approaches to intangible cultural heritage education. This platform has 4 main modules, each crafted to deepen understanding through different types of engagement. The Asterisk first module, UA Opera History Corridor, takes users through a 3D Chinese-style hallway where historical milestones are hidden in lanterns. As players click on these lanterns, they reveal scroll-like stories about the development of UA Opera. At the end, there's a short quiz to check how much you've absorbed. The second module is the 3D UA Opera stage. Here, users explore famous characters, costumes, makeup, and props from classic plays like The Butterfly Lovers. You can click directly on parts of the costume to learn more, and video clips and visuals make the experience feel like you're backstage at a real performance. The third module is the heart of the platform, the UA Opera Costume Design Studio. It's a gamified workshop where players go through the whole production process, dyeing, cutting, stitching, and embroidery, all inside a 3D space. Each step is interactive, and your choices immediately affect how the costume looks on a virtual model. There's even a creative mode where you can experiment freely, and if you get stuck, a virtual mentor appears to help. The fourth module is a timed challenge that tests your knowledge. It's fast-paced, fun, and competitive. Points and rankings are shown in real time, adding a playful layer of pressure. To encourage ongoing engagement, the platform uses familiar game elements like points, a leaderboard, and a badge system. These badges, ranging from apprentice to master, mirror the traditional Chinese apprenticeship system and give learners a sense of progression and achievement. As part of my study, we invited 34 tertiary students to use this platform over several days. We used 3 tools to collect data: diaries, where students recorded their thoughts while using the platform; observations, which tracked how they interacted with different features; and interviews to understand their more profound experiences and motivations. Combining these perspectives, I captured a rich, multi-layered view of learners engaging with gamified cultural content. Thank you so much for listening. This short tour gave you a sense of how digital tools can make heritage learning more hands-on, personal.
Okay, so as you can see from the video, there is 4 main modules for this platform that we have developed to allow the student to experience and explore the intangible heritage culture of the environment. And each module, there is the short quizzes and also some tasks for the student to do. Then after they have done the tasks or quizzes, if it is correct, they will get the badges. So from there, the students are able to explore and experience the learning of the intangible heritage culture, and it's easier for them to remember because they feel that they are inside the project themselves. So let me continue with this. Okay, so this is the design that I have shown just now in the video. For this study, we have collected the data through the diary study, observation, and interview. After we have collected the data, we use the thematic analysis conducted using the Max-QDA to explore the theme that emerged from the data. Then after that, we do some triangulation strategies, where the themes were verified through the cross-source validation among data to ensure the credibility and consistency. Then there is also the coding method, where all the data were tagged with source labels to support the frequency tracking and comparative. Then we allow the themes to emerge and to understand the perception and the usefulness of the study from the respondents. So for this study, the respondents all were selected from the Shaoxing University in the Zhejiang Province, China, with the participants aged between 18 to 23. The recruitments was conducted through an open call using the Tencent questionnaire with the link distributed through the campus poster. The student, they will volunteer to take part in the study. So based on the result, we have found that the student, they are very interested on the task that has been created in the platform. And then there is also some time challenges, leaderboard and badges that create the attention of the students. That this has already created the motivations. We saw the motivation emerge. That is the systematic explosion, social comparison, regulation, and mastery goal. So this has achieved the purpose of why we introduce this intangible cultural heritage platform to the students. The data has suggested that gamified mechanism not only simulated short-term engagement, but also encouraged sustained effort, reflective learning, and deeper the internalization of the goal. Secondly, this is the figure that illustrated how different game elements in the models that has influenced the 3 core learning dimensions in the gamified heritage cultural learning, cognitive development, skills acquisition, and attitudinal transformations. So as you can see, that these are all the different challenges or tasks that we have in the platform, such as the simulated craft processes, time challenge, stage quizzes, badges, point, and then we divided them into level and task. All these are very interesting that create the attention and engagement of the students. So this is the feedback that we have received for each module that we have created. We try to get the perception of the students. So as we can see that the students feel that I really motivated to explore how the game works. I wanted to understand how a game could support the transmission of tradition. And also, these are some of other feedback from the student for Module 1. I found that 3D scene really enjoyable. It sparked our curiosity to explore the unknown areas. I also discovered I could rotate the camera view using the mouse, which helped me to appreciate the intricate models. And this is the view, the feedback from the students for the second module. For second module, is players click on the light spot for the 3D characters, then they can know and learn what is the meaning of these 3D characters. So based on our observation, the student feel that this 3D stage is enjoyable for the student because it facilitates quick learning, bring me great joys, and there is some other feedback from the student, like I primarily focus on watching the theater performance in the 3D stage. I didn't rush. Instead, I took my time exploring and discovering new things. So this type of platform will create the attention of the student where they are eager to know, oh, after I have watched this, what is the next stage? So this will create the engagement and allow the student to immerse into the platform. Then this is the third module, where this is the Yu Opera Costume Design Studio. The players will click in the lantern to explore the corridor for the information point, and then they can mix and match to build or to construct the clothing for the opera. So this is quite interactive, where they can create the opera, the design of the costume themselves. So the feedback is, I was really motivated to explore how the game worked. I wanted to understand how a game could transform the transmission of the tradition. And there is other feedback that is listed here by the students. And the fourth module is the time challenge. For this time challenge, it is like the quiz that will test the students' understanding. The interface shows the real timer during the question answering. So when the student, they are answering to the question, there is the timer that will detect or whether they have answered it according to the timeline, and then what is the score that they have received. After they know their score, then there is 4 badges. Like this one is the excellent, and then medium, and weak, or need more revisions. So there is different badges for the students, that it will let the student to try their best to answer the question so that they can get the excellent badges. So the feedback from the student is, I really motivated to explore how the game worked. I wanted to understand how a game could transform the transmission of the tradition. And there is a few more feedback that is listed here by our students. So in summary, what is the added value for this project is, first is to transform the abstract cultural knowledge into interactive experiential learning through the gamified tasks. And we bridges the general gap by translating the heritage into engaging digital formats for modern learners. It also enhances student motivation and engagement through storytelling, challenges, and real-time feedback. And it empowers educators with adaptable, research-led tools that align with the classroom needs. It also contributes to the educational innovation by offering a scalable framework for digital heritage learning, and it supports the active learning and collaboration, fostering the deeper understanding and cultural appreciations. So for this, there is the usefulness and practicality for this project. First is, it is fully implemented in university teaching with positive feedback from students and educators. It is also modular and adaptable design, allow easy integration into various curricular and cultural contexts. It is scalable and flexible, making it suitable for broader educational applications beyond the initial pilot. And it is also educator-friendly interface, where it is very easy to be used by the educators and also students. So for the significance of the study, first, we addressing the critical gap in the gamified learning with the Chinese intangible cultural heritage education. It also contributes to the educational theory by integrating multiple learning frameworks into practical design. It promotes the cultural preservation through innovation, student-centered digital engagement. It supports the curriculum innovation in higher education by offering a scalable, adaptable teaching model, and it empowers educators and learners with tools that enhance motivation, collaboration, and academic achievement. For this project, for this second project, we have won the Gold Award during one of the international competition in Malaysia. So this one, we have won the Gold Award for under the Teaching and Learning Innovation Product Pitching Competitions. So you can see that this is the title, Enhancing Student Learning in Higher Education Through Gamification, a medium for meaningful cultural heritage engagement and experience. However, there is also limitation for this project. Currently, we just focus on one university only, which is the Shaoxing University, which may affect the generalizability and across the institution. So participants are self-selected, they volunteered to do the study. So it also focuses on the Chinese intangible cultural heritage. Findings may not be directly applied to other cultural heritage domains. And there is the qualitative methods may limit the scalability of insight. So we would like to further enhance this project in future to focus more on other discipline and also other students. And for the conclusion for this talk, the first one is the project has successfully demonstrated how gamification can enhance student engagement and also the learning outcome in the Chinese intangible cultural heritage education. It is research-led, practice-based framework was developed and tested using the real classroom setting and qualitative methods. The platform also integrates the storytelling, interactive tasks, and feedback mechanism to create the immersive learning experiences. There is positive feedback from students and educators confirm its effectiveness and relevance in higher educations. This project contributes both the theoretical insight and practical tools for scalability and cultural meaning for digital education. It also offers the replicable model for integrating gamification into heritage learning across diverse academic contexts. So thank you very much. This is my QR code for my LinkedIn. Feel free to scan and then connect with me. So now I would like to open for Q&A session.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Go, for the insightful keynotes. I have just gone through your research profile that in the social media and machine learning you work. So in future, we are that for the collaboration in the social media. I now invite for the participant, if anyone has the question for Dr. Go.
You all can raise hands or put it in the chat also.
I think there is some questions in the chat. So we have great that in the metaverse, could you create a checkpoint where student uses the turtle control to create a door to walk through, or use their new programming skills to modify their environment to reach to the next section? This is a very good question and a very good suggestion. We have not explored until this stage yet. For now, the platform that we have developed is very straightforward, where we have the topics of the topics that the student they need to learn, and then they will just click on into the topic, they will watch the video, or there is the instructions for the student on how they can develop the coding for what they need to do for the task. But this is something that is more advanced that we can explore further in future.
Okay, Dr. Go, how can educators balance the use of AI tool with the need to preserve human creativity and critical thinking in the classroom?
Yeah, I think in order to create the critical thinking of the students, first of all, Metaverse or the gamifications platform is very suitable to create the critical thinking of the student, where when they are immersed into that platform, they feel that they are inside the environment. They will watch something, they will learn something new. Then we can create different type of questions, or maybe we can have some different type of tasks which will create the critical thinking skill of the student. Because when they are immersed into the platform, they would like to learn something, and they are curious to know something. During that time, it is a good opportunities for us to create the critical thinking skills of the students, rather than just accepting or listening to what the teacher is teaching in the traditional environment or traditional classroom. And there is the
One more question from Professor Moin Ahmed.
Yes. Somehow, is there any way that we can use gamification for mathematics? For sure, we can use gamification for mathematics, where we can create similar type of the environment, and then we can come out with different type of the mathematics learning equations for the student to learn, or perhaps we can create some different type of case study for the mathematics, and then the student will try to go into different environment in that metaverse or in the gamifications. Then they will try to answer different type of case study for that mathematic topics that they are learning. When there is the case study for them to solve, or there is a task for them to achieve before they go to the next step, or to go to the next environment, it will make them, oh, I want to unlock this feature before I go to the next step. So when they want to unlock the features, they will try to answer some mathematic questions. So this is also a way like we are trying to create an environment for our new generation, our students, to learn mathematics in the gamified way. Because our students now, they like to play games, like they like to play the Roblox. So there is different type of stage that they need to go through to unlock different stage in order to go to the next stage. So it is a good environment for them to answer the question, different case study for mathematics and unlock that stage and go to the next stage. Can you suggest any tool to learn this method from scratch? I think for this tool prototype is what we have developed ourselves. For now, I do not know is there any tools which is really ready-made, but I have used one of the tools, which is the Frame VR, to teach or to create the immersive learning environment. So perhaps you can try the Frame VR. It is also one type of platform for us to create the environment. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Afzal. If for Dr. Deepak, if any teachers want to use gamification in teaching and learning, any online platform. Okay, so like what I have mentioned just now, I have used the Frame VR to do this, or Engage VR. It is also another platform for us to allow the student to go into different type of environment and to learn something. So this is what I have used for my student in the IT fundamentals class as well. Okay, so how does AI influence critical thinking of students? Actually, I think we need to teach our student not to accept every fact that is provided by the AI or the generative AI tools. We need to teach the student to be critical thinkers, that they need to ask themselves whether the fact that has been presented by them, by the ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot, are they true? We need to let our student to think whether what the fact that they are receiving is it credible. So from there, we can try to create the critical thinking of our students. So the basic or the fundamentals is needed, especially for the year 1 students, that we need to try to inform our student. We should not just accept anything that is provided by the AI, but we need to ask ourselves, is the validity and the credibility of the data or facts provided the student by the ChatGPT is correct or not? Okay, so Dr. Anuba, how commonly is this technique used by university in China? Actually, for this project, we conducted it in China and also by my PhD student, and they are studying in Taylor's University, Malaysia. But in terms of using the gamification or metaverse for university in Malaysia, it is not very common. It might be only 5% of the module that we utilize this type of techniques only. Okay, so is there any special session required for learning to generate this Engage VR? Last time when we used the Engage VR or the Frame VR, there is some online self-study guide that we can use. It is very simple. Like for example, Frame VR, we just need to log into the platform. We need to sign up and then log into the platform. And then we can go to the YouTube to learn the basic thing, that how can we create the environment? How can we invite our student to the environment? And then to put the content into the environment so that our student can visit different type of environment in the Frame VR. I think that is the most fundamental way of we can use the Frame VR as a teaching tools. Okay, I can share with you different type of the Frame VR that is created by my student. After this, when another speaker is sharing. So yeah, is there any more questions? Over to you, Dr. Salim.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Go, for sharing such a thoughtful perspective on the role of emerging technology in shaping future pedagogy, such as metaverse, gamification for cultural heritage. Your insights will surely inspire educators to rethink and innovate in their teaching practices. May I now request Reshma Madam to present the appreciation certificate.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Go, for your enlightening keynote address, especially on the metaverses-based education prototype. Your contribution to innovative pedagogy offers valuable perspective and continue to shape the global conversation in research and education. We sincerely appreciate your time and depth of insight you have brought to this conference. To formally acknowledge your valuable contribution to this international conference, we are pleased to present you with the Certificate of Appreciation. Congratulations, Dr. Go, and thank you, ma'am, for being with us today. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much for having here as well. I will share my LinkedIn profile in the chat later and feel free to connect and we can collaborate in future.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Go.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you, ma'am.
Now, I kindly invite our session chair, Dr. Salim Sheikh, to introduce our next keynote speaker and take the session forward. Over to you, Dr. Salim.
Yes, ma'am. Now it is my privilege to welcome our next keynote speaker, Professor Mohammad Sabbir Hussain, Assistant Professor of ICT and Education Technology at the School of Education, Bangladesh Open University. He also served as an expert member on the National ICT White Paper Task Force and National Consultant for the UNDP-supported Youth Voice Mechanism. His expertise includes digital pedagogy, AI-enhanced learning management system, teacher professional development, and youth-centric digital engagement. Professor Hussain has collaborated with the global partner like Udemy, OpenEDX, and the Commonwealth of Learning. He will speaking on Education 4.0, personalizing learning through the digital pedagogy and emerging technologies. Please join me in welcoming Professor Mohammad Sabbir Hussain. Now, Professor Hussain, it's over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Salim Sheikh. Thank you. Can you please give me the permission for my session's keynote?
Yes, sir.
Welcome, Dr. Sabbir. I have made you a co-host. Just check if you can share the screen. Yeah, it is visible.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this online conference, Education 4.0. Let me start by asking, how can we prepare today's student for a future where technology and learning are deeply involved? Our today's keynote session, Education 4.0, personalized learning through the digital pedagogy and emerging technology. In the next 50 minutes, I will share ideas from recent research, Education 4.0, discussing how the digital pedagogy and emerging technology can personalize learning while ensuring the quality and ethical practice. This talk draw on the paper Education 4.0, personalized learning through digital pedagogy and emerging technology, as well other current research case studies. I promise to keep the language accessible for diverse international audience with planetary to real world example and a few slide case to guide us. Let's begin this journey together to remain teaching and learning for the 21st century. Education 4.0 refers to a new era of learning shaped by the fourth industrial revolution, the convergence of AI, IoT, big data, and digital media. In practice, Education 4.0 means moving beyond the rote teaching to model that emphasize the personalized, self-directed, project-based learning, aligned to the real-world skill. Students become active creator, not just a passive listener. According to the educational research, Education 4.0 equips the learner with the critical thinking and digital literacy, with problem-solving skill, fostering the self-learning and lifelong habits. Now the question is that, have you noticed how rapidly classroom dynamics have been shifted? When a child can carry a powerful computer in a pocket. Traditionally, one size shift all instruction no longer makes sense. UNESCO note that digital technology is now the social necessity to ensure the education as a basic human rights. Especially highlighted during the COVID-19 when the millions of learners were cut off from school empty because of their lack of internet devices. In short, Education 4.0 is about aligning schooling with the digital age, using the digital technology, not just a take snack, but to expand the access, inclusivity, and the learning quality. To realize the Education 4.0, we need digital pedagogy, a learner-centered approach that thoroughly interests the technology into the teaching. This goes beyond the flipping classroom or using the video. It's about the fostering collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking through the digital tools. For example, teachers might see online simulation to introduce a new concept, followed by the group of project where students will create digital media. International audience remains that pedagogy must adapt. UNESCO emphasized that technology should be leveraged as a common good with the policy-centered marginalized group, girls, low-income students, and those with a disability to ensure one is left behind. In practice, this means that teacher training is vital. A recent Malaysian study found that where learners boost their own digital proficiency, student engagement follows. 90% of the students reported that appropriate digital platform possibly influence their learning and classroom. In other words, students want technology and they thrive when the educators are prepared to guide its use. Now the call to action. Educator, let's embrace the challenge. How can we model the curiosity of the life learning by explaining with new tools and methods? By blending traditional wisdom with digital innovation, we create learning practice that are rich and relevant. Artificial intelligence and learning analytics are the heart of personalized education. Imagine an AI tutor that adapts to each student's space, or dashboard that alert the teacher when a child is struggling. Many schools worldwide are already piloting these tools. For instance, Singapore Student Learning Space, SLS, is integrated AI feature to design to personalize learning path and assessment. The Ministry of Education here has built SLS as an open platform It collects the curriculum aligned resource and add AI-driven tools for customization and data information decision making. On the analysis side, the data collection through the digital platform helps the education identity to learning gaps or risk students in real time. Adaptive learning systems like the smart tutoring are becoming more common. In India, Indian EduTech platform also use AI tailor connected Byju's and Vedant. For example, use algorithm and adjust the lesson each learner's strength, while the tools like Embedded provide the personalized feedback on quiz and answer. This intervention has shown the credible benefit case study from the Indian School Report and inclusive AI tools, such as text-to-speech for learner with the disability. Significantly more accessible and the participation for all students. Now the question is that, wouldn't you want classroom assistants that adapt to each child need? With AI analytics, we can get closer to that vision, of course. We must also guard assistants to be biased in the algorithms and protect the students' privacy. As we adopt this technology, ongoing dialogue with the policymaker and partners is essential. Beyond AI, suite for emerging technology is a rapid pedagogy. Let's briefly highlight a few virtual reality and augmented reality immerse the students in 3D world. For example, a virtual science lab or historical simulation while AI overlays the digital info into the real world, like interactive science experiments on a table. Research shows VR can greatly boost the engagement and learning outcomes. One review noted that VR often increased student motivation and especially the benefit for learners with disability. It's often helpful to see the countries apply the Education 4.0 in practice. Let's look at a few Asian examples like Singapore Students Learning Space. As noted earlier, SLS is a Singapore national platform for digital learning. It's a one-stop hub with curriculum, align the lesson and interactive tools, consistently update based on the teacher and student feedback. ASLS feature now include AI feature aimed to personalize education through the adaptive learning and assessment. In line with Singapore National AI Strategy. So here's the key message. SLS are learn deeper, self-directed 21st century skill. Another one is teach better, supporting teacher with e-pedagogy tools, and build learner. Open architecture allow the integration hurdles of apps. In other words, Singapore has aligned the policy EduTech Master Plan 2030 with platform development. This result is the teacher can assign, differentiate the task of SLS and use analytics to track the progress, and students can learn at their own space with rich media. Here is the lesson, our lesson that national coordination and open infrastructure can scale the innovation. India's vast diversity system has changed the creative local solution. The private platform like Byju's use adaptive learning to personalize the high school math and science lesson also. It's a public initiative, our Bangladesh, Diksha, and open learning platform, integrate AI chatbot for students' clarity. Importantly, the real classroom are testing these tools in one cases. Behind, students gain new access to content through AI-powered text-to-speech. Research finding indicates that such tools have improved inclusively and access for students across the India and Bangladesh. However, Indian digital divide remains a challenge, emphasize the need for basic infrastructure as first step. It's also applicable in Bangladesh. Research from Malaysian Technical Institute found the students overwhelming prefer the digital lab tools. In a survey, 91% of students agreed that digital learning platform possibility influence their classroom understanding. Students emphasize, especially like mobile apps and games, quiz like Kahoot and Quizzy. And female students were active users of e-learning platform. The study concluded that provide appropriate digital learning platform and tools can drive the students' engagement. That also warned that many lecturers need more support to use tools effectively. Here is our lesson is that where school support by right tech and support, teachers, students respond aesthetically. The Asian country like the South Korea, Japan, China also pilot peer labs, AI chatbot, and smart classroom. The common theme is clear. Context matter, but the goal is the same everywhere. Helps every learner success with the aid of text. Aspiring as the story we must address the challenge accordingly. Equity and access. Digital divide still exists. UNESCO warned that without the equitable infrastructure and teacher training, tech can divide gaps. For instance, while one child learns with a VR headset, a pair without internet struggle to submit the homework. We must ensure the policy provide the internet and device for disadvantage of schooling. Privacy and data security is a high-risk concern. Without the learning analytics comes with the risk of sensitive data messages. Indian experience highlights that the policy must safeguard the students' data so that can learning analytics remain health, not a privacy hazard. We should advocate for clear regulation and transparency. Teachers support may educators feel underprepared for this change. Professional development is a key. The case study shows that the technology succeeds where teachers have enough training to aim the integrity. Otherwise, tech tools underperform get abandoned. Now the point is that ethical use of AI. The AI tool can interventionally reinforce the basis. Tools can inadvertently reinforce biases. For example, if a language model is not inclusive of certain dialects, some students may be left behind. Experts alert that humans must remain in the loop to check AI output. In Singapore SLS, policymakers internationally build a pedagogical guardians into their AI feature to ensure the quality and safe learning experience. Similarly, the University of Maryland research suggests the coaching students to use AI responsibility, build their skill without undermining the learning. Maintaining the human connection, technology should augment it, not replace. The human aspects of teaching is really connecting to the human connection. We must remember that relationship, empathy, and guidance are irreplaceable. New tools should free up teachers from the routine tasks like grading, so they can focus on the mentorship and individualized support. Now the short call to action. As leader and educator, let's push for policy and professional learning that address the challenge head on. Encourage our school to develop clear guidelines like AI ethical framework or data privacy policy. And then invest of teacher training as mass in device. So, what should policymaker and school leader do embed the education 4.0? We need to develop a national framework. Many countries like Singapore, South Korea, Australia have relayed the EduTech Master Plan or digital education strategy. UNESCO and other bodies encourage to align those plans with the broader development goal. For example, Singapore EduTech Master Plan 2030 expressly envision the AI data educator as seen with SLS. Policymakers should craft a similar strategy vision, customized to their context, ensuring that the technology integration is equitable and sustainable. Investment in infrastructure and equality. The government must invest the broadband access and device, especially for the rural and low-income students. Partnership with the private sector like tech company, telecom, can help to bridge the gap. Remember the UNESCO warning during the crisis, the last equipped nation suffer almost. So build resilient system now, so future dispersion not halt remaining learning. And also need to support teacher. Policy should fund the continuous professional development. As the MDPI Malaysia study conclude that teachers should prepare, adapt, and enhance digital proficiency for education 4.0. This means offering the training in digital pedagogy, propounding time for the teacher to experiment, teach, and fostering communication of practice where the educators share lesson learned. Focus on lifelong learning and inclusive education. Education 4.0 is not just about the K-12. It's about the creating lifelong learning path. Policymaker can encourage the open online resource where micro-credential and bridging courses. Also ensure that the technology adaptation address the need of all learners, like girls, minorities, and special needs. As UNESCO stressed, the digital inclusion should center the most marginalized group. For example, create accessible content, caption, translation, and involve the underrepresented communities in the policy decision. We need to include the monitor and research also, with encourage a pilot project and rigorous evaluation. Let's educator and researcher collaborate together the evidence on that works. We saw in our examples, feedback loops are crucial. Singapore constantly adopt the SLS based on the user feedback. One at national level, setting up a concern is working group to study the education technology can guide the policy adjustment. Now the question is that, what kind of education system we do want to build? One that is great and one size fits all, or one that is flexible and learner-centric. So our collective answer is shape policy and investment for years to come. So in the conclusion of Education 4.0 is not a buzzword now. It's a call to action. We have an silent opportunity to technology for personalized and equitable learning. By rethinking pedagogy, using tech empowers the students' creative, empowering the teachers through training and tools, embracing the innovation through full piloting the AR/VR gamification where appropriate, we can prepare learners for uncertain failure. So I encourage such of you, the educator, leaders, and technologists, to ask, how can I contribute to this transformation? Maybe it's starting small. A teacher experiments with an AI-driven quiz. An administrator hosts a workshop on digital literacy. A policymaker ensures the internet in every school. Thank you for your attention and passion. Education 4.0 demands that we work together, share knowledge, and keep learners to the center. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Hussain, for enlightening the session. I now invite participants. If anyone has the question for Professor Hussain, please feel free to share.
We have one question in chat box from Dr. Abu Sufyan Sheikh. In what way can digital pedagogy create a balance between human interaction and technology-driven personalization?
Professor Hussain? Hello, Professor Hussain. Is it audible to you?
Oh, I think he is disconnected. He may join some more connectivity issue. Just wait for a while.
Okay.
Doctor, Mr. Sabir has joined. Joined again.
There is some technical glitch, so sir will be joining in few minutes. We'll wait for him.
Sorry, Professor. The electricity problem has disconnected. Sorry.
Okay.
Sir, there is a one question in chat box.
I think Dr. Salim, you read it. I think he may not able to see that
Yes,
question now because he has freshly joined, no?
Okay. In what ways can digital pedagogy create a balance between human interaction and technology-driven personalization?
Okay. Digital pedagogy can create the balance human interaction and technology driven personalized by thoughtful interaction. Technology like blended learning model by combining face-to-face interaction and adaptation digital platform, creators can offer the personalized learning path while still providing the direct guidance, mentoring, and emotional support like teacher as a facilitator, collaborative design tools, feedback loops, and ethical inclusion design. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Any
How
other
does
question?
Education 4.0 redefine traditional teaching learning pedagogy?
Education fundamentally redefined the traditional teaching and learning methodology by shifting paradigms like moving from teacher-centered learning to centered model, integrating the emerging technology like AR/VR tools and gamification, promoting collaborative experiential learning through digital pedagogy, and enhancing the accessibility of inclusion. Also, we can introduce the supporting learning lifelong environment. Thank you. So summarily, Education 4.0 transformed the teaching from one size fit and delivery to a dynamic, personalized and technology enhanced process that prepares our learner for the future challenge. Thank you.
There's a next question in the chat box from Vaishali, ma'am. How digital pedagogy is used for personalizing learning? Explain in
Can you
brief
please
the
take it loudly? I can hear.
The next question from the chat box is how digital pedagogy is used for personalizing learning. Explain in brief the drawbacks of digital pedagogy.
That's a good question.
I think there is an issue of network.
Yeah, he's having a network issue. He'll join. We'll wait for a second on.
Dr. Abu Sufyan, sir, he might facing the network issue. Can we conclude the
Ah.
session?
I think let him join. Some electricity issue is there. I think
Okay, okay.
he don't have backup.
This may we can think is one of the constraints we are finding down in online sessions. We have to depend on the resources.
Yes.
Okay, till sir resumes back, I will request all the participants. The link is being provided in the chat box for the feedback, come attendance. So I'll request all the participants to please fill it and give your valuable feedback. We are waiting by, but I find that the technical glitch is going very longer. So I request Dr. Salim in absence of Dr. Hussain will conclude the session.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Professor Hussain, for highlighting the transformative potential of Education 4.0. Your experience and vision will guide us in adopting more inclusive and personalized approach for teaching and learning. May I now request Reshma ma'am to present the appreciation certificate of Professor Hussain. Thank you, Professor Hussain.
Thank you, Dr. Hussain, for your thoughtful keynote session and sharing your expertise with us. This is a certificate of appreciation to Professor Hussain in serving a value keynote speaker as a keynote speaker in the second international conference of ICITL 2.0. Thank you, sir, and congratulations and thank you very much for being present with us. We also extend our sincere thanks to Dr. Salim Sheikh sir for chairing this session with us with a warmth. As a token of appreciation, we are pleased to present a certificate of appreciation to Dr. Salim Sheikh for serving as a session chair at Second International Conference ICITL 2.2. Thank you, sir, for your guidance throughout the session. Thank you once again to our esteemed keynote speakers and our session chair for their valuable contribution and insights. This session has truly enriched our understanding and sparked meaningful dialogue in the field. Before we conclude, I request all our participants to join us for a group photo. Please turn your cameras on. I request all the participants, please turn on your cameras. Thank you all. We also encourage everyone to fill out the attendance and feedback form, which is available via link in the chat box. Your feedback helps us to improve and ensure your participation is officially recorded. With that, we conclude this session. Thank you to all being a part of it, and we look forward to seeing you in the upcoming session.